Hey, what is up guys? So welcome back to another episode of ReaperCast. Today we're going to be talking about a really interesting topic, and that is me actually changing my entire playstyle. This is going to be quite a very big thing I wanted to talk about. I don't know how long this video will go. I think it will be a bit more shorter than usual, but we'll find out. Basically, what I mean by changing my playstyle is to completely change how I approach the game, how I play the game, and it's mainly based on, I guess, the most recent ban list, and also how I want to progress with the game as well to improve myself. So throughout this entire time since I've pretty much begun, I've been going all in on this whole, I guess, if I enjoy it, I enjoy it, whether I win or whether I lose, that's fine. But I've recently been thinking about, I guess, trying to improve on gameplays myself. And it's not to say that I've been losing every game or anything like that. It's more so that I want to start entering more into the competitive realm. And for that, I can't maintain the current playstyle that I'm going with. So the current playstyle is mainly just me adding in random techs into all my decks and trying to catch the opponents off guard. And that's pretty much been my playstyle for, I don't know, as long as I've been playing the game now. So a very long time. I've just been going with that particular style, putting in random cards all I want, and I realized that in this particular time where the new ban list had come out, I don't know, a few weeks ago, it's definitely really changed things up. And I don't know, I mean, the thing is this, when you look at the ban list, the most recent ban list, the funny thing is, it really didn't change too much in terms of what's been affected on the cards, like what's been hit, what's been released. It didn't seem like much, but surprisingly, it kind of does at the same time. Now, what I'm talking about here, the specific card, is Harpy's Feather Duster. I actually believe that that card is quite a huge impact on the game. Harpy's Feather Duster is almost pretty much a staple, and by playing Harpy's Feather Duster paired with cards like Cosmic Cyclone or Twin Twisters or even Mystical Space Typhoon, right? With that, back row destruction has become very powerful now. It's quite crazy really, because with all this back row destruction, a lot more people are now hesitant to actually play back row, as am I. I don't really feel inclined to build a deck that focuses on playing back row anymore. The funny thing is, my techs that I actually add on to all my decks to catch my opponents off guard are mostly trap cards or just these random hidden cards. And knowing that this particular format and the future of the game is now going to be a bit more focused on back row destruction, I don't really want to risk that anymore. So because of that, it's kind of cutting back on this whole, hey, let's try out this new fancy card and try and catch our opponents off guard. But instead, I now have to kind of switch my playstyle to something that is a bit more logical. This kind of also links back to my previous ReaperCast. If you guys haven't actually watched that video, then definitely go check it out first. Because in that video I was talking about cutting down my collection, and in this case, because I'm now focusing on more logical plays and a logical play style, I don't really have the need to actually keep the crazy techs anymore. So I could actually just move them and pretty much just free up space again, so that my collections are cut down just a bit. And with that, I could focus on getting cards that are actually genuine staples and then play with a more logical standpoint. And this is probably going to be a long-term thing. Now that Harpy's Feather Duster has actually come off the ban list, I don't think it's going to be going on the ban list anytime soon. I think this is definitely going to be a very long-term effect, and because of that, most of my decks will now pretty much shift towards less back row specifics You know, unless it's something like Guys, which kind of has to work that way. Most of my decks will now be more fast-paced and trying to finish off the opponent as quick as possible without having to worry about my back row being destroyed. Now, with this particular way of how things are going, this will definitely really affect how things will go on. So, you know, definitely let me know what you guys actually think about this, because, you know, do you think that you have to start playing a bit more on the logical side of things? Of course, if you're playing the game completely for fun, that's okay, you know, you do what you want. But with back row destruction being, I don't know, almost pushed towards players, a lot of players would consider Harpy's Feather Duster a staple, you know. So with that being said, I feel like most people would add in Cosmic Cyclone, Twin Twisters, MSTs, all in their side decks, and I think they're just going to be prepared to deal with any back row that you put out. So if you want to actually try and fixate on a more competitive realm, it's definitely going to be more difficult. If you're actually trying to build a deck centered around back row, or even just trying out small techs to catch your opponents off guard, I feel like something like that won't work anymore, given that Harpy's Feather Duster on its own has really just shifted things so much. The other thing that kind of made it bad was also Called by the Grave getting hit from 3 down to 1. And, you know, normally Called by the Grave is meant to be a great way to just negate grave effects, but also it just becomes more scary, because now that we only have one Called by the Grave, we can't even deal with grave effects. We could barely deal with grave effects, and yeah, it just seems like it's really going to shift the game forever. And I just didn't see this until just recently. You know, I thought that the recent ban list was just focusing on BAs alone and giving them a buff. I was completely wrong. Honestly, this ban list was actually more impactful than what I actually initially thought it was. Things are going to get really crazy from this point, at least for the competitive realm of things. Of course, with the current lockdown, we won't be having any events anytime soon, so you don't have to worry about that too soon. But if you guys are actually looking forward into getting into the competitive realm in the future, when the lockdown is, I guess, over, or when the whole pandemic is over really, you guys might want to actually think about changing up your playstyles as well and seeing if that works. Of course, I'm not actually forcing you into doing things. You guys, you know, all decide for yourself. But it's just something that I found to be quite significant, and even though I'm not the most competitive player out there, just even participating in locals, I think this ban list or Harpy's Feather Duster might actually cause a really big effect. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. I know this is a much shorter video than usual, but you know, I didn't really have to extend it or push it to a very long video. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Definitely share it, because I would like more people to actually like talk about this particular topic. It's quite interesting to see the future of this game and how it will develop. Definitely leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time.